The following is a presentation of the Liberty Flames Sports Network from Van Wagner. Broadcasting from the campus of Liberty University in Lynchburg, Virginia, the Liberty Flames Women's Basketball Show is on the air. Your chance to hear from Liberty head women's basketball coach Alexis Sherard comes your way on the Liberty Flames Sports Network from Van Wagner. The Liberty Flames Women's Basketball Show is presented by Freedom First Credit Union. Start banking with Freedom First today. The Liberty Flames Women's Basketball Show is also brought to you by Bojangles' famous chicken and biscuits. It's Bo time. Carter Bank. Life lived full. Coca-Cola. Taste the feeling. By Foster Fuels, providing reliable service for 100 years. Lynchburg Nissan. Nobody beats our prices. Nobody. Rogers Heating and Cooling, servicing Greater Lynchburg's HVAC and electrical needs. Thompson Brooks Insurance, planning today for tomorrow. And by the United States Space Force. Have a question or comment for one of our guests? Email lfsn@liberty.edu or post a message at LFSN Radio on X, formerly known as Twitter.
Mills for three. Yes! Avery Mills from 3rd Street. Liberty leads 57-51.
Now let's talk Liberty Flames women's basketball. Here's your host, the voice of the Lady Flames, Jamie Hall.
Welcome into this week's Liberty Flames Women's Basketball Show. Kind of a tough week for the Lady Flames. They lost 2 basketball games, both at home against first Sam Houston, 59-53, and then an 86-72 loss to the number 1 preseason pick in the conference, Louisiana Tech, on Sunday. Both of those games actually were altered as far as the timing of the games. Just a little bit for the first game. Sam Houston was moved up to a 5 o'clock game late afternoon from what was originally 7 o'clock. And originally the game against La Tech was going to be on Saturday. It got moved to Sunday because of ESPNU. And so a little bit of an odd weekend with 2 games or 2 days in between the 2 games. Most of the season on the women's side, that's not the case. Mostly it's going to be Thursday, Saturday games. Even when the Lady Flames play Missouri State and FIU, which are 1,500 miles apart, something like that, those are still Thursday, Saturday games. So that's the week that you kind of wish that it was a Thursday, Sunday, where you'd have a little more time in between the 2 games. So it was an odd weekend. It didn't go the way Liberty wanted, and we'll talk to Coach Alexis Sherard a little bit later on in the show about those 2 games and a look ahead to the Flames' battle with Delaware this weekend on Saturday. It's also a 5 o'clock start, so drivable game. Make your way up, and you can watch the Lady Flames in person up in the, what is it, the First State, I think Delaware's called? I'll have to double-check myself on that, but I believe it's called the First State because they were the one that signed first. So it's a drivable game, nice game. You don't have to get on an airplane, and you can get a little bit of a rivalry going with the team that's that close. But if you can't make it to the ball games, you can follow along again on ESPN or on the Liberty Flames Sports Network. We'll have the radio call on the Liberty Flames app, or you can also find us on our booth cam on all the Lady Flames social media outlets. We're now joined by Elisabeth Aegisdottir. Liz, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
You're an old hat at this now. This is your 3rd time. That doesn't seem right. It doesn't feel like you're a junior. Do you feel like it's been 3 years already?
No, it doesn't feel like that at all. I feel like I just got here.
Really?
Yeah.
But now, the good side of that is it's still refreshing, and I'm sure there's new challenges, and you always feel like, like you're just, like you said, you hadn't been here that long. The other side of it is, though, the younger players that are freshmen that are walking around campus and their eyes are big, and not by now, not at this point in the year, but back in the fall semester, they're probably coming up to you and asking hundreds of questions because you're an international player. We've got a lot of other new international students that are going through all this the first time. So have you become a little bit, I don't want to say the team mother, but like, have you become like the mentor to some of these young players?
I definitely feel like I'm a little older than the other girls, especially like we have a really young team, but I just love to like help them and be able to help them, especially the international girls. So like, I have a little knowledge since I've been here 2 years. So, yeah.
What would be the advice what's like the number one question that they ask, and what's the number one piece of advice that you give, especially from someone who's coming in from so far from home?
I don't know. They're smart too. They figure out a lot of things themselves. But, like it's hard to being away from home. And like in the end, like we get to see them a little bit. And I'm glad that their families like can visit them too. And that makes me happy when their families come to visit them, because I know it's hard. But yeah, I'm glad that they get to see their families.
From your standpoint, the homesickness or missing your family and your friends, did you find yourself just constantly on the phone, FaceTiming, and I know there's a time difference, so you probably can't come home from a ball game and expect that somebody's going to be up until 3 or 4 in the morning to be able to FaceTime you then. But did you find yourself really relying on technology to kind of stay in that loop? And as time has gone on, have you done that less?
I'm on FaceTime like every single day. I don't know what I would do without FaceTime. Like, I don't know how people did it back in the days. But I talk to my family like every day and a couple of times a day. I just sometimes have my mom on the FaceTime and just doing stuff at home, and she's doing stuff. Like, she's just there on FaceTime. Sometimes we're not even talking. But
you just want to see what she's doing.
Yeah. I'm just hanging out with her on FaceTime somehow. But yeah, I mean, it's nice. And it's hard with the time difference, especially with the late games. But sometimes I just get a text like, hey, just finished the game. Like, good night. I talk to you in the morning. So
now, if we go back, I don't know when FaceTime became a thing, there's probably some version of video chat. Maybe it was Skype before it was FaceTime for probably 15 years, maybe most of your lifetime. I don't know, maybe even 20 years. If you go back 20 years ago, there might have been some version of it. But if you go back before that, it was, you could still call on the phone. You might not be able to see what's going on, but you could have those phone conversations. But if we go back before I was born, if we go back before Coach Sherard was born, if we go back to like World War II, there were phones, but not everybody had a phone. And then you go back before that, and there was a point where there were no phones. Right. You're just writing letters. Could you imagine if that was the only way that you could communicate with your loved ones, was writing a letter, putting it in the mail, know that it's going to take several days to get to them, and then you might have to wait another 2 weeks before you get the response in the mail.
Right. I think that would be so hard. Especially like, you never know, like the mail can get lost, and then you're like, well, okay, they never responded, but like then the mail get lost or something. But yeah, I don't know. I could not do that.
And I mentioned the war, but that was something that was in Europe and of course even eventually here in the United States. Maybe your husband, your boyfriend, your father goes off to war, and the only way you can communicate is them writing you a letter, and 2 weeks goes by and you go, is it just the mail is slow, or did something bad happen? Right. And yeah, I mean, it's a totally different world back then. It's kind of, it is crazy to,
it is.
Now we get upset when our Wi-Fi is too slow. It's like, I can't have 3 screens going at the same time. It's too slow. And it's just, and then back then it was whether or not a pony was going to get your mail to you.
Right.
It's just wild. Have you, in now 3 years into your time in the United States, Americanized is such an awful way of saying it, because you don't have to become Americanized. You could stay in your culture and nationality and just still enjoy being in America without becoming more American yourself. But do you find yourself doing things differently now 3 years in than you did when you first got here?
Probably probably just like being nicer, like holding the door for the next person. Like we don't really do that at home. Or like smile, like every time I walk down the tunnel to go to school, like I at least get like a 1 or 2 smiles, and I'm like, why are you smiling at me? But like I think that's just like American, and always like, hey, how are you? Like, yeah, like little stuff like that.
Well, and it's also the part of the country that you're in. I know that you and your family, when they visit, you guys travel, and I believe you've gone through New York City and different places. It's not the same in New York City. They don't smile in New York. I mean, there might be a couple of people. If you see somebody smiling in New York City, they're probably a tourist too.
Yeah.
And they might very well be from the South or from the West. West is usually pretty friendly. South is usually pretty friendly. Midwest is mixed, 50-50, usually friendly. But you start going to the Northeast, and I got some really good friends that live up in Boston area, New York area, and they're great people, but they don't smile. You don't find as much, like you said, opening doors and things like that. It's kind of a Southern thing more than anything. So, but in your travels in the country, now I know the team, you've gotten to go to Hawaii now, you go to New Mexico, you go to Texas, but when you have some free time off, have you traveled around the United States some as well?
Not really, no. I would rather just go home if I have a break and just spend my time there. But yeah, no, I haven't really seen anything else unless like we're traveling, like you said, with a team. What's
your favorite places so far?
Hawaii was pretty cool.
Not bad.
Yeah. I think it was like similar to Iceland, but like a little different. Like it was a lot of mountains and stuff like that. And like it was cool to see, but I'm like, I've seen that before. Like it wasn't like, oh my gosh, I never seen that before. But it's like, yeah, I felt a little like home in Hawaii. I don't know.
Volcanoes.
Yeah.
For better or for worse, volcanoes have sculpted Hawaii and they've sculpted Iceland. And I know, I want to say it was your freshman year when the first time we talked to you, we were talking about volcanoes, and it wasn't a good thing. And then I think last year things were getting a little bit better, although it did cause some movement and changes with a lot of folks that lived in your hometown. What's the latest? And I guess for those that maybe don't know what we're talking about from 2 years ago, give us a little bit of a recap of what happened and where things are now with your family.
Yeah, I think, wasn't it 2 years when like the worst thing happened? Like a crack opened like right really close to the town, and at least the closest crack, like the opening burned down like 2 or 3 houses, and then like just a whole crack just like went straight across the town and caused a lot of damage. And actually now they're starting to like rip down some houses or like break down some houses that like you cannot like repair. So that's pretty sad to like look, like that's my hometown, and they're like taking down houses that I like saw every day, But I think some people live there. We don't live there anymore. We sold the house, but like nothing like is happening. I think some like the fish, because we're like a fishing town. So some fish factories are still working, but there's like no school. Like there's not a store open or like grocery stores and stuff. So, but people want to live there, but if you're like have kids and stuff, like people don't want the kids to be running around because there's a lot of like areas that like can just fall. Like that incident happened with a man. He was working on a crack and he fell down in the crack and they never found him.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So that's like really scary. And that was like close to my house where I lived. So like that's so scary to like hear about.
So the government's kind of encouraging people to move away and maybe even helping in that process of relocating people.
Yeah. And that was, I mean, we're just like, 3,500 something town, like a lot of people, but like compared to like LA, what happened with the fires, like we're just a little piece of that, but still that was such a hard process to like everyone finding their home again, I guess.
So your family has relocated. Are they in a larger area now?
We're closer to the city, but still like a little outside. But yeah, we found a place where we like, and we're gonna probably stay there for a couple of years.
Very good. You mentioned Hawaii and the landscape looking very similar, but I think the first thing that the listeners thought, well, okay, no, you're talking about Hawaii, and then we're talking about Iceland, and in the name of your country is the word ice. And do they even know what ice is in Hawaii? Although if you go to the highest mountaintops, there can actually be snow in Hawaii. But what is I know the winters are winter for sure, but the warmest part of summer, is it similar to Hawaii as far as the climate?
In Iceland?
In Iceland?
Not at all.
Okay.
I think the hottest it gets, like, I don't know in Fahrenheit, but it's like 20 degrees Celsius.
Let's see if we can figure that out.
Yeah.
I want to see if
I should know that by now. I always I cannot remember it.
20 Celsius.
Like 2025, something like that.
Fahrenheit. 68.
Yeah.
So probably 70-ish, something like that. You know, between the upper 60s and lower 70s is the hottest it gets.
Yeah. Well,
Okay.
yeah. Well, it depends where you are, but like it's not humid at all, so like it doesn't get like really hot.
So where do you guys now? I mean, I guess your body gets used to if the hottest it's going to be is 70. Well, I'll just use the Fahrenheit for most of our people. If the hottest it's ever going to be is like 72, 75, something like that, then maybe to you that would be the same that 95 would be to us, just because your body gets adjusted to it. But if you decided we want to go on a beach vacation and we want to be warm, and where do you go? Which country do you visit?
I've been going to Spain.
Okay.
I really like Spain.
Well, now you got some folks.
Yeah.
You got a couple of friends that can kind of show you around too.
Yeah. We usually go to Spain, but we haven't really gotten time to, especially like last couple of years. Yeah.
You've probably been a little bit busier in the last couple of years than you had been before. And summers, you guys get a little bit of time off in the summer, but then you're back here for a portion of the summer as well.
Yeah.
And I mentioned, we've got Claudia and Emma and we've had others in the past, Anna, as far as Spanish players. So
yeah.
I guess that's one really cool thing about this team. And we can talk about the different voices and the different cultures and all how, that's all cool too. But once you graduate, you're going to have friends all over the globe. If I want to visit Canada one year, well, you've got friends that are in Canada now, and all these different connections, and the same for Avery or Emmy or someone here. They go, I'd like to really take a nice vacation. Well, maybe we can go to Iceland. Let's call Liz and see if she can show us around. So isn't that's pretty neat that you're in that environment?
Yeah, and I feel like we are like pretty close with each other. So I hope like after college, like we would like keep that connection, and like, it would be pretty cool. Like if people want to visit, or like I want to go somewhere, like I could like contact them and like be like, hey, I'm thinking about coming to visit. Like, can you help me figure out like a hotel, or I could just stay at your house or something. Yeah.
How has this worked so well? You guys have, there's 7 more international players than American players on this team. But even the American players are from different parts of the country, different backgrounds, and but it works. You guys seem to really get along. The chemistry's good.
Yeah, I mean, we're all really different, but like a part of us, like, we're here, and like we all chose this place, and like we all love basketball, so like we have a lot of things in common, even though we're a lot different and have, like you said, different backgrounds and stuff. But like, I don't know, we bond.
I would say for those that, and even probably the people that come to, it's hard if you just come to a basketball game, because unless you're sitting right down on the court, you really can't tell who's talking and who's not talking. unless you can read lips, you don't really even know what people are saying. So you don't know who's the loud and the I don't want to say overbearing, but like the maybe a little bit, the people that are going to really kind of talk a lot. So the fans probably don't know that. Now, the one thing they might pick up on is you do ask a lot of questions of the referees, and they might see that. They go, oh, Liz, oh, yeah, she's talking to the referee again. Oh yeah, this is the third time in the first half. She's probably asking, why did you call that a foul? But for the most part, they wouldn't really know. Some people, like Caroline, her personality is so big that you probably do know, okay, she's probably a talker, and this person seems a little, but I think most people would probably associate you with being quiet. Yeah. And having been around you, you do seem to be a little bit quieter than the others on the team. Yeah. But when you need to get your point across, you say what you need to say. And so much of what I'm learning now goes through this game that you guys play. This what is it called again? The Among Us.
Among Us, yeah.
Among Us, yeah. And that, I think, brings the voice out of everybody on the team. Yeah. Even the quiet players are going to say something because of that game. But would you describe yourself as generally on and off the basketball court kind of a quiet person?
Yeah, well, I think it's also just like coming to a new country and like trying to... I understand the girls that are international, like freshmen, and like trying to like, we're always encouraging them to like talk more on the court. But like, I think it's so hard to like, I think it took at least a year to like trying to find what I can say and like trying to like, find what I should say. But yeah, I don't know. But I will, like, if I need something or I need to, like you said, say, like, get the point out there, like I can do that. Like I feel like I'm getting more independent also here. Like I'm being more honest like to people. But yeah, I guess I'm more quiet than other people.
And was any of that in the beginning because your English is fine, and I know that's a language that's spoken a lot throughout Europe, but sometimes you're trying to find the right word, and that causes you to be a little bit more hesitant.
Yeah, I would at least I was like that. Like my first 2 years, I had to like think about what I was going to say before I said it, because I was like, okay, yeah, this is the right word. But sometimes like now I just say things, especially like when it's just a team, like I say things and then I'm like, oh shoot, what's the word? And then like other people like help. And I think with freshmen too, I think we're all, or like all the internationals, like we're always like trying to find this one word and then people help. But I don't know, yeah.
Is it easier if you were on a team where you were the only international player, you would probably feel a lot less or a lot more restricted. The fact that you're on a team where you're not the only one that's dealing with maybe that same issue, it probably makes it easier.
It's a lot easier, I think, or at least we always have so many internationals. So like if someone says something like weird or like says something wrong, like we can laugh about it, but like I think it's easier, like we all say something like wrong or like stupid, but like we just laugh about it.
It is a fun group, and for those fans that have only watched the games and not really been around you guys, the next time there's an autograph session or something where there's kind of a meet and greet and you can kind of come up and talk to the players, you should come out, because there's some really we see the behind the scenes stuff, the karaoke night when everybody's singing, or like I said, when you guys are playing the game or doing different things. Christmas parties and things where everybody's cooking, or there's a lot of really fun but a variety of different personalities on this team. And so fans, that's your next chance you get, come out to one of those meet and greets, and it'll be worth your time for sure. Let's take a quick break, and we'll come back and we'll talk a little bit about the academic side of things and what you're studying, and then maybe a little bit of basketball as well. I don't think we've talked any basketball yet, so we'll get to that as well right after this here on the Liberty Flames Women's Basketball Show.
What's important isn't that Freedom First has been in business since 1956. What's important is how we've been doing business since 1956. Since day one, we have been accountable to our members, not stockholders. We make loans that cost less, offer savings plans that pay more, and give back to our community. And that hasn't changed. What has changed is our ability to serve you with more locations and more technology to simplify your financial life. Freedom First. It's a place where anyone in our region can bank for good.
It's bow time. It's not just football season. It's tailgate season. And that includes every kind of football, whether it's got goalkeepers or goalposts. The kick is good! Because it doesn't matter where or how you tailgate. When you've got crispy chicken and fluffy buttermilk biscuits from Bojangles, your tailgate is better than great. It's legendary. Head to Bojangles and order your tailgate box with boldly seasoned chicken, fixins, biscuits, and legendary iced tea today. It's bow time.
You're listening to the Liberty Women's Basketball Show, presented by Freedom First Credit Union. Today's show will continue after this 1-minute timeout on the Liberty Flames Sports Network from Van Wagner.
Thousands of our teammates make and deliver 300 of the world's best brands and flavors, locally. From the heartland to the coast, in big cities and small towns. Our products are moving, and our trucks are rolling. We share a passion and a purpose, and we love to refresh and serve our communities. We are Coca-Cola Consolidated, your local bottler.
At Carter Bank, we believe life is best lived full of opportunities and dreams, of goals achieved and promises kept. We've been creating opportunities for more people and businesses to prosper since 1974. That means great local lending, convenient access to your money, accounts and guidance that make it easier to get more done. We are Carter Bank, the preferred community bank of Liberty Flames Athletics. Visit carterbank.com to learn more. Member FDIC, Equal Opportunity Lender.
Hi, this is Alan York, asking you to join the team as a member of the Flames Club. As a Flames Club member, you can make a difference by directly contributing to the success of Liberty Athletics. The Flames Club's mission is to raise the financial support needed to provide our coaches and student athletes with the resources to compete for championships. Membership levels vary and begin at just $75. Some gifts may even be tax deductible. When you join the Flames Club, you're truly investing in champions and championships. Join today at libertyflamesclub.org.
All right, welcome back in. We're here with Liz. And Liz, I just looked it up, and it is the first state. Delaware is the first state. I have no confidence in myself. I should have said it like I knew what I was talking about because it was actually right. But then the other one, it's also called the Diamond State, and you would think it's called the Diamond State because there's a diamond mine or something like that. But it's called the Diamond State because it's small but valuable. So that's pretty good. I think everybody could appreciate that. Sorry, got us off track though. During that break, I wanted to make sure that I didn't say that incorrectly. I've got a lot of friends up in Delaware. They would give me a hard time if I got their state name wrong or their nickname wrong. That's where the Lady Flames are going to be playing this weekend. By the way, they're going to be taking on the Blue Hens of Delaware on Saturday at 5. As far as what we were speaking of and all the different, culture on the team, there was a major change in the off season, and that's at the top. Coach Green, that recruited you and was your coach for your first 2 years, decided to retire, and Coach Sherard has come in, and who was also in that, I'm sure, in that recruiting process during your high school, or I guess, is it the same as far as high school in Iceland as it is here in the United States?
I mean, we don't have high school teams. We just have club teams. But
is it called high school or some variation of that as far as the
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Because prep schools, like some places will say preparatory school. I don't know. I'm getting into the weeds too much here. But during that process, Coach Sherard, I'm sure, was involved as well. So it was not like Coach Green retires and somebody new comes in that no one knows and brings in a totally new staff, and you've got to get adjusted to a completely new system. It's been a pretty easy transition, I would imagine. But has it been odd after having Coach Green around for your entire college career to not hear that voice anymore?
I mean, a little bit. He was always like calling at me like, go for the rebound, go for a rebound. I'm hearing a little less of that, maybe just because I'm doing it, I don't know. But I mean, yeah, it is different. And we all like miss him, but I think he's living his best life, probably.
Yeah.
Doing something completely different, yeah.
A lot of hunting, fishing.
Yeah.
Have you ever done any hunting or fishing?
I went fishing with him.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
And you mentioned that your town is a fishing town, so that that makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay, so from a basketball standpoint, I know with Coach Green especially, and still with Coach Sherard, rebounding is a major emphasis. Not every coaching staff has that same philosophy. I mean, most of them are going to say rebounding is important, but maybe not to the level that Coach Green put on it.
Yeah.
This team has always been one of the better rebounding teams in the country as long as he was here, and it still is. You guys are, somewhere around +9, +10 rebounds a game over your opponents, which is outstanding. Was rebounding as big of an emphasis in Iceland?
So like before games here, like we just have like goals and like how many rebounds we want to like beat them by, and I've never like went in details with that, but like I've noticed like this girl has like 10 rebounds, that was really good, but like I never noticed it like they did here, which is really funny.
Yeah. So what's the main goals as far as when you were playing club ball and playing over in Iceland? Like, is there something else that's more of an influence, or not influence, but like the thing that's focused on?
I feel like I haven't played there in a while, but like it's I don't know. Like they play like faster ball because the shot clock is shorter, but yeah, I don't know. I feel like just a lot of people focus on scoring, and I think that's just feel like it's normal, but there's just so much other things that you should be focusing on, I guess.
I think the tempo of the game over there is it's just different. Yeah.
It is.
I'm going to embarrass you a little bit by saying this. I think if you ask the coaching staff, you've got to make one stop. You're winning by one. The other team's going to put the ball in their best player's hand. Who do you want defending them? I think most of the time they're going to say we want Liz defending them, and whether that's a 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe even a 5. You seem to be kind of everybody's favorite defender. And again, not trying to embarrass you by saying that, is that something that you have taken pride in your entire life, or is that something that is new to your American basketball experience?
No, I feel like I've always valued defense, and I feel like the offense comes from a defense. But yeah, I don't know. I want to do good on defense, and then the flow comes with an offense. Yeah.
Well, what makes you a good defender, and what gives you? I know you've got size. You're tall, so that makes it a little easier to guard a 4 or a 5 than if if you were 5'6", you probably wouldn't have that capability. But it's tough to defend a 5 and then also be able to defend a 1. And they tell me that you're pretty good at defending 1 all the way through 5.
Yeah. Well, lately, like, I don't know, like we have a lot of fast guards in this conference, so it's been like, it's either like I just step off them a little and like just put a hand up and like contest a shot. But I don't know, I feel like I'm pretty physical on defense, and sometimes that gets into my back, like they will call a foul and I'm not really agree with, but it's, yeah, I don't know.
And we talk about the tempo of the game being different. It's certainly probably more physical here than it is in Europe because of the tempo of the game. You're not really beating and banging as much. Everybody's sort of running and gunning. Was that your biggest adjustment?
I feel like it's different physical. Like, I feel like in Europe we're really physical and they call different fouls. And I feel like you can do more, like being more physical, but like you can still be physical here. it's just different. Like they will call some fouls that are too physical, but then I feel like you can't be physical sometimes. Like at least off the ball you can, and they won't call it.
And I think some officials are different than other officials, and that probably makes it tough. There's some games where you can almost murder somebody inside and nothing gets called. But if you're out on a guard 30 feet from the basket and you put your forearm just a little too much into them, all of a sudden you get that call and you go, did you not see that she lost her head? Like her head got knocked off and you didn't call a foul. Now you're calling me for a little bit of an arm bar. It is tough. And and I wouldn't want to, I kind of, there's part of me that would like to be an official just because I think I would be fairly good at it if I were. But then there's another part of me that goes, I would not want the scrutiny. I would not want the coaches yelling at me and the fans questioning every call. And it's probably hard to be consistent. And then there's three people. And maybe you've got one really good official and one decent official and one new official that's not very good. Oh. So you're trying to almost offset the bad official in the group, but you can't tell them you're a bad official. Don't blow your whistle. You can't say that. But it's tough. It's like if you're playing 3-on-3 and I'm on your team, you're going to have to play better because you're going to have to offset how bad I am. Like if there's two good players and one bad player, you go, Jamie, don't shoot 3-pointers anymore. You're not a good 3-point shooter. So it probably is tough for the referees too.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like we shouldn't be focusing I feel like we're doing a better job on not focusing on what they're doing and we can't control them. But it's hard to find the line each game because it, like you said, it's different every single game. So yeah, I don't know.
Consistency, and that's all you want. You just want it to be the same in the first half and the second half. You want the same call on them that's on you, and you'd love it to be game 2, 3, 4, 5. Every game being called the same, but it doesn't always kind of work out that way. When you're having those chats with the referees, is it just asking what did I do wrong there? Is that kind of the questions that you ask them?
Yeah, well, always begin. Before the games, they always we can just talk like that and just come to us and ask us. And I usually do that, especially if I have time and then I can ask them. And then sometimes, I don't know, they say different things sometimes, but I don't know. I just want to know, I'm not trying to be rude or anything. I just want to know, how did you think it was a foul? You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
And if they tell you, then in their mind what they're going to call a foul the next time. So yeah. It seems like it's a fair question, and most officials probably are understanding of that. I think what they don't want to see is a player running over and flailing their hands in the air, making a scene, making it look like that they're yelling at them or making them look bad. And I think the same thing with coaches too. They'll usually let a coach say just about anything they want, but if they start making a scene and yelling and screaming and throwing their jacket off and stuff like that, then that's a different story. Remind everybody what you're studying and what you're hoping to do once college is over or when basketball is over.
So I'm studying sports psychology. And for now, I don't know what I want to do with it. I think I want to just help athletes, maybe younger athletes, because I feel like we need to start younger, because even just watching my sister and her team, girls are just getting so mad and stuck in their head because they made a mistake or something. So I feel like if we start younger to focus on the mental side, I think we need that. And I don't know if I want to work with teams or individuals, but I don't know. I'm almost finishing college, and I know I need to take a master's, but it's kind of scary to think about soon I'm just gonna be I am in charge of helping someone else, and I don't feel old enough to do that. I don't know.
You're kind of describing being a mother as well. So I mean, those are things that again, I don't know what your plans are, family plans are, if you want to have kids or if you don't want to have kids. But yeah, that's kind of a scary thought for sure.
Yeah.
Or the same that people that want to go into coaching and they go, oh wow, if this all works out next year at this time, or in your case 2 years from now, there could be 15 little lives in my hands that are listening to everything I say. And so when you say like a life coach, is that kind of, I don't know if that's the right term or not, but just sort of coaching people off the court as much as on the court? Or
like, just a sports psychologist, or I don't know. I don't know how that works. I need to figure that out soon.
Well, you've got a little bit of time, but so you mentioned starting a master, so you're getting close to finishing your undergrad?
So I can finish like in December.
Okay.
But I don't know if I want to start master's here or like go home and start a master's, or that takes like 1 or 2 years. So I don't know if I want to just like keep that and just start when I finish basketball, because my undergrad is never gonna like just leave me. I'm always gonna have that. So maybe just I want to go maybe in Europe and play professionally, either it's in Europe or at home. So maybe just start a master's after that. I don't know.
What would be the perfect scenario? How long would you like to play post college?
I don't know. As long as it's fun. And
as long as it's fun.
Yeah. And I'm healthy.
That's a very good approach, as long as it's fun.
Yeah.
Because I think sometimes, especially at the highest level, when you're talking about NBA players, or even on the women's side, WNBA players, it's, I've got to play until I break this record, or I've got to, it's like you got to play till you're 40. That's just, that's the way it is, or late 30. Like I've got to play until then. That's when, what else can I do? That's the only thing I know how to do is play basketball. But how many athletes continue playing when it's no longer fun? I'd say a lot.
Yeah, probably.
And that goes back to what you're talking about, the sports psychology of, as a psychologist, do you try to make it fun for them? Do you try to help them find ways to find fun when it's no longer fun? Or do you just give them the advice of, maybe it's time to look for another career?
Yeah, I mean, definitely like try to like find a way to like make it fun again. But like if you've been doing that for like as long as you need, like, and it's not getting fun, or like you're not as interested as you was before, like I don't see the point. And you're not then giving your like 100% effort if you're just there and you're not making that extra things and like,
We've kind of hit on some fascinating things that as you continue your studies in psychology, and especially once you go into the master's side of it, that I'd love to hear more thoughts on what's the right advice. You talk to a psychologist, a psychiatrist, all these, there's I'm sure standards. Oh, okay, this is what the book says. But then when you're talking to the individual, sometimes you might have to go off that, because every human being is not exactly the same. It's like, okay, normally the normal person would do this. Well, I'm not normal. I'm over here. Then my sister might be over here. And so, that's you got to kind of go with the flow a little bit. That's very interesting. 10 years from now, when you're in the middle of your sports psychology career, maybe 15 years from now, we'll get on FaceTime and we'll do this interview again, and we'll see what your thoughts are at that point. All right, last quick question for you. Over the last 2 years, there have been a lot of times that whether I think Avery was one, and there's some others. I'm sure I can't remember. I'm not going to remember everybody. I have asked, okay, the fashion side of things. You guys have your little photo shoots sometimes when you come into the game, and you're wearing your game day fit, and Amber's taking the photos. And who do you go to for advice if you need to see if what you're doing is good? And a lot of them have said your name. So
really?
you have come highly recommended as far as the fashion side of things. Do you have any background in that? Anything in your family or anything you've studied, or is it just comes naturally?
I don't know. I feel like in Iceland, or like just in Europe, it's so different than here, I guess. But I don't know. I think I was just raised like that. My mom is like that. I just want to present myself well. But I don't know. I always done that. I don't know.
Yeah, I've never seen you sloppy. You know, I'm sure there's times where you would just as soon not have to think about anything. No, I don't want to have to worry about my hair. I don't have to worry about what I'm dressing. And after a basketball game or after a practice, you know, especially this time of year when you walk outside and it's 20 degrees, which would be minus whatever in Celsius, you just want to put on a big jacket and not worry about it. But it seems like you do take time to always, go that extra step. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, well, I have my moments. Like when I'm home, like I don't care at all. I'm in my pajamas like all day sometimes. But I don't know, when I go outside, I just want to look good, I guess. And like, especially when I play basketball, like if you look good, you play good. That's all. That's my motto.
That was an old hockey coach that said that if you dress first class, you play first class, and so he always wanted his players to wear suits and ties on the way to the game, and then after the game was over, win or lose, put on the suit and tie again, and look presentable as you're going out and talking to the public, and it is if you feel it's like if you drive to the game and you're in a sports car, you're gonna feel a little bit better getting out of the and you look good. Everybody's giving you a thumbs up and saying, "Oh, look at that!" Nice suit or nice this or nice that. It's just gonna increase your confidence. See, I'm helping out with the sports psychology firm. That's the first thing. Dress first class, play first class.
Right.
You dress like a bum, you're going to play like a bum. So there you go. That's the first session. You can charge somebody, $100 an hour for that right there. You're good to go. Well, Liz, it's always fun. Oh, one more quick one. Have people gotten better at saying your last name over the 3 years?
I actually think so.
Okay.
Yeah. I haven't really noticed it, but people are doing good, yeah.
It's because you've got a tough one, and with Claudia, we've talked to her, and she says everybody seems to be getting better about saying her name the way she would say it, and so they're at least for the most part saying it like you would want them to say it.
Yeah,
okay.
I think, yeah.
Very good. Very good. Well, a great season so far, and I know it's a transition year. You guys lost a lot of players that graduated or transferred, and so I know maybe you don't have quite as many wins as you would like right at this exact moment. But overall, I think with everything considered, you're in a pretty good spot, and there's a lot of basketball left to be played. And so we'll follow you along the way, and we wish you the best the rest of the season.
Thank you so much.
We'll be back with head coach Alexis Sherard right after this quick timeout here on the Liberty Flames Women's Basketball Show.
Turn up the heat. Foster Fuels is a proud partner of Liberty Athletics. Fostering warm moments for 100 years, Foster has been providing exceptional propane and gas services throughout Central Virginia and surrounding areas. From propane to fireplaces and tank installs to tankless water heaters, Foster does it all. Visit fosterfuels.com or download the app to order fuel, pay your bill, and more. Get the customer service you deserve and turn up the heat with Foster Fuels and the Liberty Flames.
Lynchburg Nissan's model year in sales event is on, and the savings are huge. Remaining 25 models are tariff-free and have 0% up to 60 months. Discounts up to $7,100 off MSRP, and new cars starting at $18,950. Lynchburg Nissan is ready to pay up to 130% of fair KBB for your trade, too. We also offer guaranteed credit approval. Inventory is limited and selling fast. Stop by or schedule your appointment at lynchburgnissan.com, home of the million-mile warranty.
You're listening to the Liberty Women's Basketball Show, presented by Freedom First Credit Union. Today's show will continue after this 1-minute timeout on the Liberty Flames Sports Network from Van Wagner.
Rogers Heating, Cooling, Electrical, and Plumbing. Your certified Generac backup generator experts. Online at callrogers.com.
The light from a star can take millions of years to reach Earth. So when you look at a star, you're looking back in time. But I see the future. I see exploration and courage. I see my country finding new horizons out there. And I see giant leaps making a comeback. I see myself. The future is where I'll make history.
This message is brought to you by the United States Space Force. More information is available at spaceforce.mil.
Thompson Brooks Insurance has been serving Virginia for over 35 years, helping individuals and businesses with their insurance and investment needs. The team at Thompson Brooks is experienced in understanding Medicare, retirement planning, life insurance, the healthcare marketplace, and group insurance benefits. Call Thompson Brooks Insurance at 434-385-8500. That's 434-385-8500, or visit them online at thompsonbrooksinsurance.com. Thompson Brooks Insurance, planning today for tomorrow.
Have you downloaded the Liberty Flames mobile app? If not, what are you waiting for? The Liberty Flames mobile app is your lifeline to Flames athletics. Get the latest news on your favorite teams, find upcoming schedules, buy and download tickets to the next game, listen to podcasts, and hear our online Liberty Flames Sports Network audio broadcasts.
Pass caught into the end zone. Light 'em up. Touchdown, Liberty.
It's all on the Liberty Flames mobile app. Download it for free from your mobile app store today.
Welcome back into the show. We're now joined by head coach Alexis Sherard. Coach, good to see you as always.
Thanks for having me, Jamie.
I know we've had some losses this season that we've had to talk about and digest and move on from. Hawaii was one of those, but after the two losses in Hawaii, everybody got to go open up presents and have eggnog and had basically almost 2 weeks off before you played another game. So there was a little bit of time to kind of reflect on that. And I think most people had flushed it by the time you guys got back, and it was conference tournament or conference regular season play, and you go out on that West Coast swing or the West Side swing and win 2 games, and everything got right back on track. So your team has done well bouncing back from tough stretches of the season already, and now you're kind of in that spot. The game against Sam Houston was kind of a defensive slugfest. You lost 59-53, and then it was just the exact opposite against Louisiana Tech. Both offenses were hitting on all cylinders. There's just a little bit more than yours, and they won 86-72 in that ball game. But now the chance for your team to be resilient again and bounce back from those losses.
Yeah, so I guess we just need to go to Hawaii after 2 losses so we can bounce back from that after a long trip like that.
I'm down.
But no, 2 tough games, 2 home games, 2 very good teams, very good athletic teams, tough teams. Sam Houston, they are obviously very aggressive on defense. That game was different from the La Tech game because Sam Houston, we didn't shoot the ball well, probably around 33% for the game. Defensively, we just didn't match their intensity. So that's kind of been a theme that we've been trying to focus on these last couple of days because very similar to the La Tech game, that game we actually shot the ball well, shot over 50% from the floor for the game. But again, just fell short defensively. Obviously, we had 20 turnovers in both games, so that's obviously a consistent factor that we need to address. But, just on a defensive end, we just have to do a better job locking in, just playing a little bit tougher, a little bit more grit, taking it personal. So we've been really focusing on that this week with our bye week not having a game on Thursday. So hopefully this Saturday down at Delaware, we can apply what we've been trying to implement.
It's a wide open year, really, in Conference USA. You guys are the defending champs, but lost 70+% of your team basically from last year, offense, rebounding, everything. Middle Tennessee, who has been one of the top 2 teams in the conference forever, a little bit of a down year for them. Out of conference, non-conference schedule. They play a tough schedule, but still, nevertheless, they lost some pieces, and they're still trying to kind of sculpt their rebuild as well. Louisiana Tech was picked to win, and they've had some ups and downs. We saw Sam Houston beat them. So could it be by the end of the year that it's going to, you might have the regular season champion have 4, 5, 6 losses?
Potentially. There's a lot of parity in the conference. Louisiana Tech, preseason number 1, but they didn't lose anyone, added a couple of players, but they were still young last year. Last year they played a lot of freshmen, so you're dealing with youth there. Sam Houston, they didn't lose anyone, but they're all seniors. So when you have a veteran group, been there 4 years, been through a lot of games, ups and downs, that makes a big difference. I mean, you can't really teach experience. So, yeah, I think at the end of the year here at the end of the conference, it's anyone's championship, because I think Middle, they obviously lost a lot like we did, but they're young, but they're talented as well. They have some really gifted freshmen that are playing well. So I think it will be just who learns to win on a consistent basis at the right time. So we want to be playing our best ball in March. We'll continue to learn how to win. And, as the season progresses, we'll continue to dot our I's, cross our T's, and just try to be better tomorrow than we were the day before.
And I guess nothing points to this more than Sam Houston. They opened the season. They beat La Tech, which was the number 1 team predicted. They beat you guys, the number 2 team predicted. Then they go to Delaware, a team that didn't have a conference win and isn't necessarily having the season that they had hoped for in the non-con. And that game goes to overtime. And quite honestly, Delaware should have won that basketball game, and so it kind of flips everything around. You go, okay, just when you go, well, maybe Sam Houston, maybe they are the team to beat, and then they had a hiccup because it's hard to get road wins in this conference.
It is, and that's a great example. I mean, Delaware, they're seeking their first win in conference, and they're hungry. So every game they're playing very, very hard, and it may be in a 7-game series. Sam Houston beats them 4 times, 5 times, but you only have to beat a team 1 time. You have to be better than them for 40 minutes. So Delaware, they're a hungry cat, and hungry cats hunt best. So they're a very dangerous team, but I think it's wide open. I think whoever plays better on that particular day for those 2 hours, that's the team that's going to be successful.
How frustrating is it for you as a coach to see a 2-game losing skid? You don't like to lose at home. That's already going to frustrate you. But the fact that it was 2 polar opposite games, the things that you preached, I'm sure, after the loss against Sam Houston, where you only put up 53 points, we got to pass the ball better. We got to get open shots. We got to hit these shots. We got to finish layups. We got to do all these things. All those things happened in the game against Louisiana Tech, and you still lose because it was the defense that wasn't as good as you would have hoped.
Yeah, so with a young team, as I said before, you have to expect some inconsistencies. So that's what you have to try to minimize. So if we have a checklist of 5 things and we get 3 of them correct, but we're still missing 2 of the 5, you're going to suffer. I mean, in this league, there's a level of intensity, there's a level of execution that you have to do in order to be successful. So, we scored the ball well, move the ball around well, but, on the other side of the basketball, that's 50% of the basketball game. If you don't really execute, if you can't defend, get stops, and finish the possession with rebounds, it'd be very difficult to win that basketball game. So, we're moving in the right direction. We're improving every single day. I'm very pleased with our team's attitude, their willingness to learn, but we just have to be consistent. And right now, we're just really focusing on that defensive side of the basketball, that we have to, like I said, be a little bit tougher, play a little bit more as a unit, be conscious of that basketball, protect the paint, play with pride and purpose. And, if we can put that all together, then I have no doubt, when we put that all together, I have no doubt that we'll be successful.
Now, one thing that I'm not sure which coach works on this, but you guys aren't defending the free throw line very well. Paul Carmody sent me a stat the other day that the opponents are shooting over 77% from the free throw line. If you use that number as a team total, that would put them around the top 25 in the country in free throw shooting on this season. And I know that's just something that's out of your control. The thing you can control is not putting teams on the free throw line. You can't really do anything once they get there. And that's just one of those oddities, and you can defend the 3-point line, but sometimes teams just make shots that they don't normally make. And again, you team that shoots 70% from the free throw line and they shoot 94% in the game against you, you can't really do anything about that. And so I'm sure that's something that it could also cause a little bit of frustration. You have had some teams and specific individual players this year that have had their career bests at the wrong time for the Lady Flames.
Well, as a team, as a family, we talk about we're the defending champions. So, everyone has the Liberty game with a big circle around it on their calendar. So we anticipate getting everyone's best shot. So shooters that maybe their percentages aren't great, we anticipate when they come play against Liberty, they're going to be at their best. They're not going to be at their worst. So those are things that we have to take into consideration, which obviously hopefully propels us to play at that level of intensity that we know it takes to be successful. But we anticipate everyone's best shot because, like I said, when you're playing against a defending champion, that's going to be, that's a championship game for every team. They want to make a mark. They want to make some noise in the conference. They want to send a message. So we have to, be ready to meet that intensity and respond.
Paris Bradley was one of the players that I was kind of alluding to in that, and she's not coming out of nowhere. She's the preseason player of the year. But there have been some others along the way that you kind of look and you go, 15% three-point shooter goes 4 or 5 in the first half against you, and you go, how in the world does that happen? And you start looking over to the coach that did the scout, and they go, hey, I promise. She hadn't hit a shot all year. She wasn't shooting well all year, but you just have to kind of brush that off. You're a big NBA guy, and analytics is moving its way into every sport, really. But I mean, it's big time in the NBA. How would you say that it has integrated into college basketball, and specifically with your staff?
Well, we try to track as much as possible. I mean, we try to track, obviously, rebounding. We do positional rebounding, deflections, stops. We track stops, how many consecutive stops we track. And then, you have the plus minus system that, the stat sheet provides. And, we try to, obviously, you want to be on the positive side. But, just as a whole, we really just want to focus on our family, on our team, and just, individual growth, team growth. And like I said, right now we're just focusing on, nose on the ball, protect the paint, keep everyone in front, and then just gang rebound. So, all the analytics help just with regards to where you want to put your points of emphasis, your learning points of emphasis. But, at the end of the day, if you don't get stops and don't rebound, it'd be very difficult for you to be successful.
When you watch other sports, do you – because, you watch – we talk about football games, and so you're watching other sports. Do you ever and I know you and I don't know what Jim Harbaugh knows, as far as the inside grit of that sport, but we know the edges anyway. Do you ever sit back and watch a game and go, man, I'd go for 2 here. Why aren't you going for 2? I actually had that conversation with a couple friends of mine the other day, and I forget which playoff game it was over the weekend. Team scored a touchdown. They're up by 4. I go, well, you got to go for 2. It's late in the game. You got to go for 2. You got to make it 6. That way, if they score a touchdown, they got to kick the extra point. If they miss the extra point, you're still tied. He didn't. He didn't go for 2. Kicked the extra point and missed the extra point. So they don't even get it to 5. It's still at 4. And I'm screaming at my TV, and it's not like I had money on the game, but I would just, I was like, how do you not go for it there? Do you ever kind of analyze what other coaches do in other sports?
Yeah, absolutely. And I'll take it back to basketball. End of game, you're up 2, it's the other team's ball, or you're up 3. You're up 3, and it's the other team's ball. Maybe, 11 seconds. Do you foul? Send them to the foul line so they only shoot 2 shots? Do you just rely on your defense and, if they make a 3, you just go into overtime? So, a lot of times that's one particular event in the game that I'm definitely, depending on the flow of the game, you can go percentages, shooters' percentages, how they're shooting in that particular game. But usually I've seen a lot of teams just kind of play it out, and I'm yelling foul, foul. There's no doubt about it. Don't even give them a chance. And a lot of times they hit that three, goes in overtime, and then, who knows who wins afterwards. But absolutely, I definitely get engaged in games just on the coaching side of it, which I have no stake in the fire. You know what I mean? They're not even listening. They can't even hear me. But, as a coach, you just get involved, and I guess that's good practice anyway.
And in those spots, sometimes it's about the amount of time that's left. If there's
Sure.
23 seconds left, you can't foul. They might have a timeout. There's going to be 2 or 3 possessions left. But, yeah, if it's down to 2 or 3 seconds, it seems like the overwhelming theory now is if you get inside of 5 seconds, you're up by 3, you foul, because the chances of them hitting one, missing one on purpose, and it's possible, but it's less likely in a shorter window. And that kind of is the football thing too.
Sure.
Do you go that same spot where you go for 2 to make it 6 with 2 minutes to go in the game? To me, is a given. If it's 5 minutes to go in the third quarter, it's not a given.
Too early.
And that's too early. If it's in the first half, you don't even think about it. Like what point, 5 minutes to go in the game, maybe that's when you kind of go, there might only be 1 possession left. Yeah, that's probably when you start doing it. Maybe even 12 minutes to go in the fourth quarter, you don't do that yet because there could be 2 or 3 possessions back and forth. So, it's fascinating to me. There was a coach earlier in the year, and even if I remembered who it was, I wouldn't say it because it wasn't a good look, because he went after the referees after the game because his team was trying to foul up 3.
I saw that.
And they did not call obvious grabs and then called a foul on the 3-point shot.
Which he made.
Which was, And so it's like they were trying to do the right thing. You don't call. We're trying to give a foul. You don't give us that. But then it was a kind of phantom, not a lot of contact, probably before the shot, foul. So sometimes the coach, you tell the players to do the right thing. They try to do the right thing, and it still doesn't work out in your favor.
Did he make it, or he made 3 free throws?
Ooh, that's good. Now I have to go back. Now you've got me thinking.
I think he may have made 3
free throws. Yeah.
So. Yeah, I mean, and again, it's the best game in the world, the game of basketball. There's just so many highs, so many lows, so many variables, so many things you can't control. So, you just try to have your team prepared as best you can. You obviously want to practice special situations. That's a special situation. You're trying to give a foul up 3. And, it looked like he was fouling him 2 or 3 times, no call. And there were so many different angles on that possession. And he kind of had his hand on his side. So do you call it at the end of the game? Do you not call it? You don't want to leave the game up to the referees. You want your players to kind of decide the outcome of a basketball game. But, the referee saw it. He called it. But, unfortunate for that team. And, obviously that coach lost his cool temporarily there, which you never want to do. But it's a great game. But it's all about preparation, having your team ready, and just having them in a right mindset.
If you had a different career choice, could you be a referee?
Definitely.
I think I could have, too.
Yeah, definitely.
I think I would have enjoyed that.
Yes.
And you got to have obviously you got to be quick, and you got to be in shape, and there's a lot of things that you got to be, but you got to want to do it. And I think that's the key. You got to be willing to take the punishment from the crowd and from the other, from the coaches and
you got to have
the media.
Skin. You got to have thick skin. You got to be, confident in what you're doing, confident in your calls. You can't let the fans or the coaches sway you. And you have to be neutral. You have to be professional. But, referees, they're around the game. I'm sure they love the game, seeing, different players from all over the world, different levels. So, absolutely. I could definitely see myself being an official in another lifetime.
Well, next week we'll dive into how this transition for you has gone from being an assistant coach to now having the ear of the officials. They could hear you in the past. They just maybe didn't want to hear you in the past. Now they have to listen to you now. And working the official is an art form, and so I'm kind of we'll talk about that next week because we're running a little short on time, and I do want to get to Delaware before we close up shop here. What do the Blue Hens? What problems do they pose? What did they do well against Sam Houston that made that a close ball game?
Sarah Jenkins, she does a great job, and they're 0-4 in conference, but they're better than their record. I mean, like we said, they went into overtime with Sam Houston, who's obviously may be the best team right now in conference. So they're very athletic. They attack the basket, super aggressive. They get to the foul line. She does a great job defensively. They change defenses. Obviously we'll have a size advantage, but just with regards to their quickness, tenacity on defense, ability to attack the rim, we'll have to do a good job protecting the paint, keeping people in front of us, and obviously with every game, finish the defensive possession with a rebound. And anytime you can make shots, that always helps the formula to win. But our consistent common theme, common denominator is going to be we have to do a great job defending the basketball and rebounding to finish those possessions and limit them to one shot per possession.
Sounds good, Coach. We wish you the best.
All right. Thank you, Jamie.
That's head coach Alexis Sherard. If you'd like to follow along this weekend, games will be on ESPN+. You can also listen to the radio broadcast. We'll have all the links. You can go to the social media accounts. They'll have those links as well. But you can also find tickets to the next home game, which is a little ways away. Flames have 3 straight road games. But if you want more info, go to libertyflames.com. You can also download the Liberty Flames app, whether that be on your iPhone or your Android. Until we talk again, this is Jamie Hall saying so long and God bless.
You've been listening to the Liberty Women's Basketball Show with head coach Alexis Sherard on the Liberty Flames Sports Network from Van Wagner. Today's show has been presented by Freedom First Credit Union. Start banking with Freedom First today. The Liberty Flames Women's Basketball Show has also been brought to you by Bojangles' famous chicken and biscuits. It's Bo time. Carter Bank. Life lived full. Coca-Cola. Taste the feeling. By Foster Fuels, providing reliable service for 100 years. Lynchburg Nissan, nobody beats our prices, nobody. Rogers Heating and Cooling, servicing Greater Lynchburg's HVAC and electrical needs. Thompson Brooks Insurance, planning today for tomorrow. And by the United States Space Force. Liberty Flames Basketball is an exclusive presentation of the Liberty Flames Sports Network from Van Wagner.